Not only did he just do something I'm incapable of, he's bilingual. I'm not even lingual. You'll figure out what I meant by that. I realize my role. I understand why I'm here. I know why they let me talk. Is because after you've seen all that stuff, the slides, the numbers, the polished people, the folks who really present well, then they tried out Jethro. And I stand up here in a cowboy hat and go, yeah, it worked for me. You ought to do it. My claim to fame is I live in Arkansas. My hometown is DeQueen, Arkansas. It's been my home the whole time I've been in this industry, for a matter of fact. Where I live, you cannot choose your electric provider. Where I live, there's no cell phone service. Where I live, front teeth are optional. I live so far back in the country, we don't get Monday Night Football till Wednesday afternoon. You get the point? So for me to stand up here as the number 3 money earner, to be blessed to have made millions, and to know as little as I know. I'm not bragging about being ignorant, but it's paying very well. So the point of my part is to share with you, to teach you, to empower you. You don't have to understand it all. You don't have to be good at it. There's really only 2 things we do. Would y'all like my training?
Yes.
That guy back here is looking at me like I'm drinking. This is it, sir, I promise. And unless you are, it ain't gonna get no better. This is as good. He just leaned over and said, sign me up. If he can do it, I'm in. You want the training?
Yes.
Get you some customers. You understand, do that.
Uh-huh.
That's the international sign for yes. We'll start over. We learn by repetition. Get you some customers and get you some customer getters. You want the advanced training?
Yes.
Y'all speak English on this side, y'all? You want the advanced training?
Yes.
Get you some customers. Get you some customer getters. Do it again. It's just that simple process. Look, all you need is a handful of customers. Let's talk about that. When I got in this thing, I thought getting them customers was going to be the easy deal, right? Who don't want to save money on something they're already doing? Is there anybody in here that knows someone that doesn't use at least one of our 2 services? I mean, everybody uses electricity. Well, homeless people don't. But they got cell phones. They're homeless, but they got it. Does that tell you how important that thing is? I mean, it has become part of our life, yes?
Yes.
You leave the house and the lights are on. You're driving down, you go, oh, no big deal. We'll turn them off when we get home. You leave the house without your cell phone, you go into crackhead mode. My phone, I need my phone. You see my phone, I need my phone. Down my phone. So we are attached to these things. Yes?
Yes.
So think about getting paid every month when people use something habitually, unconsciously. You see, that made sense to me. But I live where I can't be a customer. Where I live, men are men. So are half the women. It's just a joke, sir. The reality is, though, it's not about you. You don't have to be your own customer. All you need is a handful. All my national directors, executive directors, and presidential directors, please stand. All my national directors, executive directors, presidents. I want you to look. This is the top of our business. And to get to that level, the most customers they must have is 20. That's not a day. That's not a week. That's not a month. That's their whole career. 20 customers that they went and personally gathered. Now, some of them have gathered 40, 60. Some of them are overachievers and have over 100. But 20 qualifies you. Now, I want you to look at this group. They're pretty diverse. They don't look that bright. If they and I could do it, would you agree that everyone in this room could at least get 20?
Yes.
Give them a round of applause as they're seated. So I was certain getting those customers was going to be the easy part. Hey, you pay electric bill, try mine, it's a little cheaper. it is easier to get people to give you their motor teeth than it is to give them. They do not want to be your energy customer. And it was kind of hard for me to understand at first, then I realized they don't want to be without electricity. And they know you. They know you don't know nothing about electricity. And they don't want you messing up their Wheel of Fortune tomorrow night. They want to sit at home in air conditioning with the lights on and watch TV. But what they don't understand, and what our job is to explain nothing changes. The same guy that's been reading your meter keeps reading your meter. The people that fix the poles and wires and take care of the outages, they're still doing that. The only difference is now you're getting a bill from you and the company you represent, Kynect, powered by Stream. And here's the kicker, the majority of the time, we're a little cheaper. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you we're going to save people enough money they can buy a house in the Caymans. But I will tell you, historically, over the last 14 years, we saved millions and millions of people on their electric bills. Ms. Willa, would that be a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
And then when you understand it costs nothing to become a customer, there's no switch fee, no sign-up fee, there's no extra charges, there's no hidden fees. We don't play those games of buy it today and it's free next never. But it was hard getting those customers. I remember the first guy I went to was my daddy. You see, I grew up around Houston, and Daddy still had some rent houses down there, so I knew that was going to be 4 of my customers, those 4 rental properties. So I go to my daddy and I say, Daddy, I need you to be my customer. My daddy said, no. I went out to my truck. I got the little sheet they gave me, had the rates. I came in, I took his bills, my Big Chief tablet. I did my intos. I carried and I ciphered and I brought it down. And I could show my daddy in black and white where I would save him almost $40 per house per month. That's $160 savings. Now my daddy is tight. I mean, he was the kind of guy, he was so narrow-minded, you could poke out both eyeballs with one finger. You know what I mean? He said, nope, I ain't interested. I said, why, Daddy? He said, boy, I've been with Houston Power and Light the majority of my adult life. I said, Daddy, it ain't even called Houston Power and Light no more. It's called Reliant. He said, I don't care. That's who I use. I was heartbroken. I remember getting in my pickup, ready to drive home thinking, I got to have 20 of these pigs.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, if your daddy won't do it, it's an ugly deal, yes?
Yes.
I learned a valuable lesson that night. They tried to tell me to ask it for a favor, to explain that they were helping me start my business. But you see, that was against my nature. I wasn't going to ask for a favor. I was going to sell them a good deal. 3 days later, my daddy called me up. He said, Bud, that's what he always called me, Bud. He said, Bud, I need some help working them cows. I thought I'd be cute. I thought I'd be smart. I said, Daddy, why don't you call Houston Power and Light and see if they'll help you with cows? Learned the most valuable lesson about gathering customers. The phone got real quiet. And my daddy said, Bud, what are you talking about? I said, Daddy, 3 days ago I asked you a favor. I asked you to be my customer. You said no. He said, no. You didn't ask for a favor. You tried to sell me electricity. Hear me. Your friends and family, your co-workers, the people you go to church with, the people on your softball team, those folks down at your church, your parole officer, they don't want to be sold. Certainly not by you. But they will help you. These people would give you a bed, cook you a meal, loan you money. They'd come get you in the middle of the night because they know you need it, but they won't be your electric customer because you're doing it wrong. Now, we didn't have all the credibility. We had not set all the records. There was no proof that we were good. So here's the way I did it, and I think it'll work for you. I said, look, all I'm asking is try it for 30 days. We'll compare your first bill with me, and understand, I always say me. They don't know who Kynect is. They don't know who Stream is. They don't care. They know you. We'll compare your first bill with me to your last bill with whoever. If I don't have a better deal, we'll switch you back. And I personally will pay the difference of what it costs you. Now hear me. When we say our bill's going to be cheaper, it doesn't mean their next bill is going to be lower. They might use more of it, yes? Right. Yes. So all you do is take what they charged them and divide it by the kilowatts. That's your true cost. What it costs divided by the number of kilowatts you use. If you understand, go uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
You know, I've been promising that for almost 15 years, and I've only had 2 instances where we were higher. One was by $7. The other one was only, I think it figured out about 63 cents. Now, I've had some scares. Martha and I looked at a bill one time, and in big, bold, black and red letters it said, your savings was, and your cost was. And their cost per kilowatt was like half of ours. And Martha hands me the bill, and I'm looking at the bill, and I'm like, oh no, what do we do? And then you read at the bottom in the fine print, and it said, if you had been on our Super Saver plan last month. When you dug down and looked at the actual bill, they were double of what we charge. My point, there's a lot of games people play. We don't play the games with our customer because they are our friends, our family, our parole officer. And if I've learned one thing in life, you don't piss your parole officer off. You keep him happy. Daddy ended up becoming my customer as a favor. But I still had to learn. I had a good friend down in Houston, still lived down there. Billy Bob, real name. I said, Billy Bob, I need you to be my electric customer. Billy Bob said, nope. I said, why? He said, my wife handles all that. I never knew I had so many friends that were wimps until I got in this business. I said, oh, come on, Billy Bob, I just need a few of them. Do it, try it. He said, don't want to. I said, why? He said, it's too much trouble. I said, it ain't no trouble. You just go online, you type in some information, I get credit, you save money, I make money. Come on, I need this. He said, Randy, I don't want to do it. I said, Billy Bob, I didn't want to lie to your wife about Tijuana. But I did. For you. Do you know to this day, Billy Bob is still a loyal customer? How many of you have children? How many ever once was a child? How many of you wouldn't raise your hand no matter what I said? The reality is, I know my kids need medicine. They don't want it, but I know they need it. I'll sit on their chest, squeeze their nose, and hold it tight until something opens up. And then I'll force that medicine in them because I know they need it. That's the way I look at getting my customers. I only need a few. And once they get on the service and they realize the electricity stays on, nothing changes, and it is a little better deal, they start referring other customers to you. How many of you had a difficult customer who's become one of your best advertisements? It happens. So getting the customers is the first part of it. You need a handful. You get a few, you make some money. You get a few more, you make some money. But if you think you're going to get rich, you're going to change your life financially, you're going to build huge recurring income on just gathering customers, it's just kind of unrealistic. It can happen. You can make a few thousand, but to keep those customers and maintain them, my point is all of us can handle a few. Yes?
Yes.
So how do we get that massive growth? How do we get those big checks? You saw when he put it up there where if you went from 2 to 4, it went from $450 a month to like $12,000 a month. Yeah. Well, let's be realistic. That ain't going to happen. I can just look at you and tell that because the 4 people you know ain't going to be that good. But let's talk about $12,000 a month. What if it took 400? I could go find 400 people. Well, it might take me a few years. Let's say it took 10 years. You got 40 a year in the business. Not 400. I think that 12,000 number rule is realistic. My real numbers, I make quite a bit more than that, and I've only personally gathered 53 getters. People that do the business, 53. Now, if we look at my back office, I think it'll only show like 20-something, 21 or 22. But I have 2 sons I put in the business. I've helped them build up to senior director, and I sponsored under both of them. So Daddy did it for them. If we add up their 2 businesses and mine, it comes in around 57, 58. So in my 14 years, I've got 25, 26 customers. You understand? Go, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And I've got 53 or 54. I'd have to look. Let's just call it 55. We'll round up. 55 customer getters. You understand? Go, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Now you want to know the interesting part? Out of those 55 getters, over 45 of them are gone. Dead. Quit. Done. They ain't working the business. But that's over where 70% of my income comes from. You see, Martha Troy, national director, she's on my team. But the person that I sponsored or I told about the business, who told someone, between Martha and I, they're gone. They're done. But I still get paid, not on what I did, but on what I started. Because you see, you'll find some people that in spite of you will do this. Because I told a dud, Martha, what level are you to me?
5.
5th level. I told a dud, who told a dud, who told a dudette, who told a dud that told Martha Troy. Let's use those numbers. Martha, do you mind sharing?
No.
How many people have you personally sponsored on my 5th level?
75.
And those 75 getters have grown to how many total on your team associates?
22,000. Oh my God.
When you get a Martha Troy on your team, all you do is wake up every morning at 8 a.m. and call her and say, how you feeling? You taking them vitamins I sent you? 22,000 getters. Because I told someone that quit, do you get it?
Got it.
Do the math. 22,000 getters. Let's say they just get 2 apiece. That's 44,000 customers. That's why we got underpinning all the way around our double wide. Mercy hates it. Quit telling people we live in a double wide. It was better than a travel trailer. That's why we started out in it. While I'm on that, there's a lot of talk in these businesses about houses and cars and planes and trips. And look, I live in the same house we built 30 some odd years ago. I live where there ain't a neighbor in sight. You don't see a light anywhere in my yard. It's my home. Now we've added on here and we've done this there. We got indoor plumbing. We've kind of upgraded. But the reality is I didn't get in this because I wanted a big fancy house or a yacht or a mansion. I got in it for freedom. And hear me. Freedom is never free. If you want time freedom, if you want financial freedom, if you want freedom to be who you are, what I mean by that, instead of letting someone else decide what you're worth, what you should wear, what you should eat, when you got to get up, when you got to go to bed, when you got to be a certain place. Don't that kind of sound like prison?
Yes.
The majority of people will spend their life building someone else's dream, putting someone else's kids to the better colleges, putting someone else in a second or third home instead of building their own. Why? Because it's hard to do it. Your daddy will tell you no. You'll have to blackmail your best friend. And you think getting them customers is going to be tough. Let me tell you, there ain't nothing tougher than getting getters. Because most people ain't getting and ain't going to get. No matter what you promise them, if they get, they're going to keep getting. Got it?
Got it.
But it doesn't matter if they quit as long as you don't quit. And that's the hard part. There are going to be days you hate it. There are going to be days you want to quit. There's going to be days you're going to think, why in the world did I ever start this? You'll lay in bed at night going, why? Can't they just get a few customers? You want to just squeeze it out of them. People. I went to see a trainer once. His claim to fame, he had made $1 million a month in our industry. His name was Paul Orbison. He's a personal friend of mine, since passed on to be with the Lord. Great gentleman, but he's from Kentucky. Makes me look like a Rhodes Scholar. I went to this training. Orbison's up in front of the room. He's got him a spit cup. I kid you not, Terry. He's spitting in that cup and he's training. Someone in there was asking how to build the business, and they said, what do you do when someone does blah, blah, blah? He goes, I don't worry about it, because I realize people are people are people. I drove from Dequeen, Arkansas to St. Louis, Missouri. 8 hours one way. Had to sleep in my truck to get up there because I wanted to learn from this guy who made $1 million a month. And his best advice, people are people are people. Next guy asked a question. Well, what do you do if a team member don't? Boss said, I don't worry about that. You know what I've learned? People are people are people. This cat did that about 5 or 6 times, and I turned to my friend. I said, is this for real? By the end of the day training, somebody do something stupid. We'd look at each other and go, people are people are people. And that's the best way to be successful in this business. Quit worrying about other people. Don't give a thought to what they say, they think, they do, because they're not paying your bills. They're not taking care of your kids. They're not the ones trying to help provide for their parents like you are, or your church. Or maybe you just want to donate to your favorite charity, your favorite organization. Every check I make goes to my favorite organization. It's called the Randy Hedge Fund. Hey, I'm hearing some of this for the first time myself too. The fun part is you gotta have fun with it. Because people are gonna stand you up. They're gonna tell you no. They're gonna laugh at you. They're gonna tell you it won't work. Why are you doing that? True stories. Every example I give you is